just what you're looking for. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, homestyle happens here with our 12-piece strips meal for only $32.99. Warm up with a big helping of homestyle. Enjoy 12 all-white meat golden brown breast strips, 3 large freshly prepared sides, and 6 fluffy biscuits. It's the family meal everyone will love. Get a homestyle meal made easy with our 12-piece strips meal for only $32.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at you go! Something runs out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience, playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipes Chicken. I had me some Lee's right before we went on the show, and you got a chance to join me for lunch. And hey, have you some lunch? There's a Lee's nearby that's open. But in the meantime, you got your phone. You can pick it up, and you can just push those little numbers, dial 10 numbers. You can call them, and we can talk about what's on your sports mind. And that number is 937-518-1410, 937-518-1410. 1410. You can reach out to me at Twitter if you're at work and you don't want nobody to know what you're listening to, but you have a question. You can hit me at KAB41 is my Twitter handle. Well, we are in here in the month of December. Just seems like yesterday it was January, and then it was in the middle of summer, and fall football season was here, and now the calendar year is almost over. But in the meantime, so, get out, get your Christmas shopping done. Get some, that way everybody doesn't have to wait till the last minute to get it done. Full disclosure, I haven't picked up anything. Well, I had to tell my wife, hey, look up under the tree. Hey, remember we went to Jamaica in late November? Hey, remember we went to Las Vegas in early December? So does that count? Do I get credit for that? Let me ask my producer, Justin, do I get credit for that? Come Christmas time in a couple of weeks. We went to Jamaica. My wife and I went to Jamaica right after Thanksgiving. No, right before Thanksgiving, we was in Jamaica. And then we just got back to the Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. We was there for 3 days. Do I get any credit does it carry over by Christmas Day?
And you would think, but see, Nora and I always do this thing where if we agree on a bigger purchase, like we'll say it's in August, or like I tell you what, let's just go ahead and make this purchase, and that'll be our Christmas present to one another. We just bought a house, so we're like, hey,
house, come on,
no Christmas this December. We just bought a house, let's just get comfortable moving in. But I already know. I already have a list of things I'm going to get her because I know how that's going to work, because she'll either have something for me. It's a win-win for me. I'm going to have presents for her, and if she does it for me, then I win.
So we got a house, but do I have a tree in my house? Did you put anything up under the tree?
And if she has a present for me, then I'm covered because I have presents for her, and then it's a wash, and then we both love each other equally. But I'm hoping that she really does stick to the, oh no, we got a house, I didn't get you anything, and then I come across looking better because I got her something.
You got her something anyway. So okay, I got that. So I better go get something between now and December 24th.
Yeah.
Just to have
online
a back.
Shopper? I hate online shopping. I love walking the stores, not having a list. I hate when people tell me what to get them for Christmas. I'm like, I love surprising people. I love that element right there. So people may give me a list of things. I might get you that, but I like to think of something that you've told me in the past.
And if you know me, you know what I don't like.
So that's kind of how I roll with that just a little bit, but we'll see. But no, I'm not an online shopper. I hate that. Nor is an online shopper. Every time I come home, there's something sitting at our
package on the door.
And I'm like, see, I just like to go to the store. To me, there's just more effort put in there, but it is what it is.
I got you. Well, I better be on task. I'll get on task. But in the meantime, while I get out shopping, do I know who?
Do you know a Denny Dice?
Not by name.
Oh, well, Denny Dice, he says, what's up? And he also says Browns are back in the hunt. He looks like a Browns fan. You don't have to get to that this second.
But I was going to talk about the Browns and the Bengals.
Yep. So I'll let you get back to hosting your show, and I'll pop out.
All right, Denny.
But he just wanted to say Browns are back in the hunt. So there you go.
Hey, that's the way to go, Denny. And the Browns are back in the hunt. Where are the Browns now? 6-6? 7-6. Man, time is getting away. But, that's why I always, I say at the beginning of the season, I'm on my show and I'll remind folks, I say, hey, the NFL season and the college football season, they start at the same time, but there's nowhere near. The only thing that's similar is they only play a game once a week. College feels like a sprint. It's a sprint to the finish line. It's a sprint to be one of the, the college football championship teams. It's a sprint. But the NFL is a marathon. Don't worry about who's got the lead early. You want to be there at the end of the race. But you don't want to give up too much of a cushion early in the season. So you want to sprint home at the end of the season. That's where you want to be. And right now, that's where we are. That part of the race is you're sprinting home. As a former player, you especially as an experienced former player, when you're early in your career, you don't realize how long the NFL season is. I remember my rookie year, we played the Washington football team the first game of the season and the last game of the season. And in those days, we didn't get a bye week. It was just 16 straight weeks. And by the time we played them at the end of the season, it's the most football I ever played in my life. 16 straight weeks, no break, no nothing, no bowl game in between, it's just 16 straight weeks. I was like, we're looking at the film from week one. We was like, who are those guys? Man, I don't know how to remember that game. It was so long ago. And you look at how much you improved, over the course of that many games. And, we lost that first game of the season, my rookie year, and we lost the last game of the season, my rookie year. My rookie year, my team went 5-10-1, and we were winning 14-0 in the second half. And the Washington football team, they were going to the playoffs. They're like, oh, we done played around with these guys long enough, and they hit another gear, and they won 21-14. And, I remember looking at the faces in the locker room at halftime, after the game, even before the game. A lot of the guys that was on the team had already checked out. They was already talking about what they were going to do in all season. We weren't going to the playoffs and this, that, and the other. And I was like, man, we got a football game. I want to win. I'm a winner. I want to win every game. I've never lost 10 games in the season. I don't want to do that. Never lost 9 games or 8 games. I wasn't used to losing. And we lost that game, so we lost 5-10-1. We had veterans that were on the team already had their cars parked, packed up. They was like, man, as soon as the game over, I'm out of here. I'm not even gonna come to the meeting tomorrow. The end of the season meeting. Guys was already checked out, and we had that meeting the Monday after the last game of the season. Buddy Ryan came in and got in front of the team with whatever teammates that was still in the locker room, was still there in the meeting room. Some of them had left. Like I said, and Buddy Ryan said, well, I know some of you guys want to go back and finish your education. You got some other things you want to do this all season. You want to go on vacation, and you can do all that. But if you want to be on the Philadelphia Eagles next year, off-season workout starts February 9th. Anybody, you can go back to school, but if you want to be a football player, you'll be here February 9th. And that was the end of the meeting. And that's when we started our off season for going into my second year, was about 6 weeks after the season. And he's like, y'all got 6 weeks to do what y'all want. February 9th, I need to see you here. And that's where we were. And, you had to change that mentality. So right now, you're watching NFL teams, and you've seen some teams checked out. Jacksonville, Urban has got his hands full down there. We'll talk about that a little bit. Urban's got his hands full. Look at the New York Jets. Yeah, they got their these teams that are losing. The Detroit Lions losing. But I don't want to talk too much about losing. I want to talk about winning. And the Cleveland Browns did that yesterday. And, they've gotten back in to the race. I mean, a few weeks ago, you was ready to write, here go the same old Browns. A couple of weeks ago, we were like, all right, not the same Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are changing their fate also. Man, just about a month ago, the Bengals were the number 1 seed if the season had ended to be in the playoffs. They were playing that good. But again, we're coming down to the last spit of the race. Teams have played 13 games. You got 4 games left. You got 17 games this year for the first time in NFL history. They're going to play 7. They've changed it. 17 games. So that's a month of football left. How are you going to finish the race? The Cincinnati Bengals, tough loss yesterday. All losses are tough in my book. And all wins are good. No matter whether you look quote unquote good or look bad, winning is winning. And that's all we're going to remember at the end of the day. Did you win or did you lose? That's how you're judged in this league, in the National Football League, wins and losses. That's just simply that. A lot of excuses. A lot of this shit, this went wrong, that went wrong. But did you win or did you lose? That's the bottom line and the cold-hearted facts about playing in the National Football League. So no matter when I won a football game, when I played, no matter how we won, guys, I don't care if the coaches are upset. We know we should have played better and all this other stuff, but look at the scoreboard. We won. So feel good about that because it's hard to win in this league. And then the reverse of that, man, I had a big game. I had a couple of touchdowns, 100 yards, boo, 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 and we lost. It doesn't matter. We lost. Nobody cared the offense scored 40 points. You lost. Nobody cares the defense had 5 turnovers. You lost. So it's a winning and losing league. Not as simple as in basketball. They talk about it's a make or miss league. But yeah, it's that. But in the National Football League, it is about winning. It's only 17 of these. And no matter how you win, you have to win the ball game. You have to win and you have to lose. And we got a month. The Bengals or Browns, they both are 7-6. There's a good possibility that both these teams can make the playoffs, and there's a good possibility both these teams will miss the playoffs. I don't know, but we got a month. We're 7-6 right now, 7-6 for both Ohio football teams. If we would have had this conversation in August, and believe me, we did, but in August, if we'd have said, hey, come the last 4 weeks of the season, would you be okay with the Browns and the Bengals being 7-6? I mean, would you take that? What fan of those teams would said no? 7-6 with 4 games to go? Yeah, I'll take it. Because, you got reason to feel optimistic and to feel positive. And that's where, and you're an NFL team, that's where you want to put yourself in position to win. Now, I want to, I got a couple things to talk about today. I want to talk about coaching. I want to talk about winning and even a little bit about analytics. But before I get on a tangent and talk about those things, that's on a professional level. I want to congratulate the Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama, Bryce Young, on winning the Heisman Trophy. Kudos. This year was really wide open from the standpoint. Well, I think it could have easily went to one or two guys. And I think it could have went to C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Aiden Hutchinson, I didn't know. I didn't see enough, for this year to just truly say, we got to have a defensive Heisman Trophy winner. They already have enough awards for defensive players. Really, the Heisman Trophy winner is supposed to go to the best player, regardless of offense or defense, but we know better. No use of playing that charade. It's an offensive award. Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh, thought he had a really, really good season. But unfortunately, you go to Pittsburgh and you didn't win enough Power 5 games. I mean, you just didn't win. You just didn't. Nobody watches Pittsburgh. No, I mean, no reason to. I mean, not your fault that Clemson was down and Florida State is down, in your conference, so you can have some signature wins against those guys. And, Florida State has been down for a long time. I ain't even mentioned Miami of Florida. And they hate when I call them that, but hey, I got to differentiate. I don't know the difference between Miami of Florida and Miami of Ohio. So, I don't really like those guys anyhow. But they have never even won the ACC since they've joined the conference, so they're not in that equation. And Clemson, hey, they're still having, Trevor Lawrence hangover. They're looking for the next, Trevor Lawrence to walk into the building. But the Buckeyes kind of took something away from that. But the Heisman was this weekend. I don't watch the Heisman Trophy. I haven't watched the Heisman Trophy since I sat in the downtown athletic room in 1984 when they didn't call my name. So I don't watch it anymore, but I always know who wins it because somebody's going to come tell me who won the Heisman. So I keep up with that. And I had to watch it, the replay on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. And Desmond Howard is a friend of mine. I like Desmond. He's a super guy. But he made a big mistake. And he forgot where he got. Ohio State and Michigan, we always go at it. Any time of the year, every place of the year. But there is still some sidebars. There's still some neutral things you just don't do between Ohio State and Michigan. We're going to always take shots at one another. That's a given. That's part of it. But it started, I'll say it started last week, when myself and Archie Griffin were in Indianapolis at the Big Ten championship game between Michigan and Iowa. And in the second quarter, they introduced the Big Ten Hall of Famers from college football in the National Football League. And they had us on the field to do an on-field salute. And I was the first one to get recognized, and all the Michigan fans just booed and, jeered me and all that stuff. And I was like, wow, really? I can understand we was in Michigan doing this. But we're in a neutral site game, and it's not about Ohio State. It's not about Michigan. It's about we're promoting the Big Ten Conference. The Big Ten Conference, invited us there because they're proud of Big Ten guys going into the Hall of Fame. And we got to show some class, and Michigan fans didn't do that, so they booed me. And then in the post game, they booed Archie Griffin. He's the MVP award of the Big Ten championship game is named after Archie Griffin. So Archie Griffin was there to present the award to the winner of that award, and it was Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan. And the fans, they booed Archie too. So I go like, how do you boo? Anybody from Ohio State in a neutral site? You just don't do that. Just don't clap. How about that? But you don't have to boo. But then that started last Saturday during championship weekend, and this Saturday during the Heisman Trophy ceremony. When Desmond was on there interviewing Aiden Hutchinson, and Aiden Hutchinson went through one of our goals this year was beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten championship game. Okay, well. Now, why do you have to bring in C.J. Stroud, Desmond? You're wrong, and I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna tell you when next time I see you. I'm gonna tell you to your face. You're wrong for that. I know he tweeted out an apology, but you didn't tweet out a slur, a disrespectful mark. So you should go on TV. C.J. Stroud did not deserve that, nor did Buckeye Nation deserve that. That remark that Desmond put out there. No use of me repeating it. I mean, he's talking about the offensive line. I was like, come on, man. Offense, he threw for 400 yards. Offense scored 27 points. So come on. Aiden wasn't that destructive. But nonetheless, I just thought Desmond was wrong. So I would be remiss if I don't call Desmond Howard out on that. And Desmond, you're called out. And when I see you, I'm going to tell you to your face. And we can still be friends. But friends are always honest with each other and tell each other, right from wrong. And that is wrong. That is wrong on every level to do that. But that's my moment. That's my my Heisman moment and criticism. So again, shout out to, the Heisman Trophy winner, no matter who it is, each and every year. Congratulations to Bryce Young. Hopefully next year, someone from the Scarlet and Gray will win that honor. So we will go on, with that. But now let me get back to my regular scheduled programming. The Bengals and the Browns. You want to make the playoffs. Now, you control your own destiny. Either one of those teams do not have to look at the scoreboard, and we're going to be talking about that in the next coming weeks. Oh, if they lose and they win. I hated that as a player. Only thing I wanted to be concerned about the game that I'm playing in, because we control our own destiny. We don't need any help. And more often than not, you're that player that's looking for help. You don't get it. I thought so-and-so should have been them. They let them off the hook. They won that game. We'd have been in the playoffs. Been there, done that. That's no fun. We got 17 games to handle our own business. Let's just go out there and win. And we don't have to worry about scoreboard watching. And you're in the Bengals locker room. You're in the Cleveland Browns locker room. Neither one of them have to do that right now. All they have to do is go out there and win. That just sounds simple, and it is simple. Just go out there and play hard, and play smart, and play fast, and you win. The teams that make the least amount of mistakes win ball games. Before we got on the air, my producer and I, we were talking about, the teams and winning games. And I'm just going to break it down for you like this, guys. To get in the playoffs year in and year out, if you win 10 games, it's really hard to miss the playoffs. I unfortunately did it once. I went 10-6. We missed the playoffs. We lost it on a tiebreaker. But more often than not, if you win 10, you're going to be in the playoffs. There's going to be the rare exception. You win 10, you're going to be in. And this year with an extra game, you win 11, you're in. You're going to make it. So with that being said, remember I said at the beginning of the show, I said, hey, the NFL season is a marathon, not a sprint. And this is for all them analytical people who I'm not a big fan of. I was about to say I can't stand. That's a little too strong of a word. I just not a big fan of analytics. And you see it creeping up. I wouldn't even say it's creeping. It's just a part of baseball, basketball, football, certainly. It's starting to be a part of our, conversation. And really, for more often, the wrong reasons. There's nothing wrong with analytics as long as you keep it in its proper perspective. But analytics cannot replace real coaches and real-time decisions amongst players and staff, and even general managers. When you're making decisions about a guy, you have to, you can't get away from the eye test. You have to, have that feel that doesn't always show up in the analytical time place. But this is my analytical piece. This has nothing to do with, should we go for it on fourth down, with third down this, we're supposed to do that? No. Should we go for two? This is a winning formula that every successful program, should practice. And when you're putting your team together during the off season, and then when the regular season gets here, this is what you should expect, and what you built your team upon. And this is how, my simple formula is simple, but it's effective because I've seen it work on many, many occasions when you look back over the course of the season. How do you win your 10 games, 10, 11 games to make it National Football League? Here it is. Well, every team in the NFL has talent. Don't say this team sucks, they're terrible, because the worst team in the NFL will be a 3-touchdown favorite over any national football champion that year. The worst team. It's just the worst team. There is talent across the board in the National Football League. There's so much talent. And you heard me say many, many times on this show, 75% of the games week in or week out are decided by 7 points or less. There's a few outliers. This week there's a few outliers. Jacksonville losing by 20. Houston losing by 20. The Raiders losing by 30. The Jets losing by 20. But those are exceptions. But overall, you're going to get close ball games. You're going to get Tampa and Buffalo 6-point game, Cincinnati and the 49ers 3-point game, et cetera. One possession, Baltimore and Cleveland, 2-point game. But here it is. You have enough talent on your team on both sides of the ball to win 3 games. Every team can win 3 games, just strictly off pure talent. We got, just talent. We have talent wide receiver, talented defensive back, talented offensive lineman, defensive line. Your talent on the NFL roster is supposed to win you 3 games. Okay, I'm trying to get to 10 or 11 games, folks. So your talent on your roster is going to win you 3 games. Whether you like the talent, dislike the talent, there's enough talent to win you 3 games. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. They got 2 wins. The Houston Texans has 2 wins. The New York Jets have 3 wins. Detroit Lions only have 1 so far, but look at they lost to a 66-yard field goal off the upright They've had some. They took the Pittsburgh Steelers into overtime, and they had chances to win that game. That would be your 3 wins right there. So talent on the roster is good enough to win you 3 games. Every NFL team has enough talent to win 3 games. And then where are the other wins coming from, Keith? Well, special teams. Your special teams has to win you 3 games to make the playoffs. I mean, look at the Baltimore Ravens special teams. They kicked a 66-yard field goal. How many big kicks thus far has Justin Tucker? That is his name. That is Justin Tucker for the Baltimore Ravens kicked this year, and they're 8 wins. Every game he gives the team a chance. But not just Justin Tucker, but all other teams. Look at the Chicago Bears last night. They had a big punt return that took them. They had a 10-point lead over the Bears, over Green Bay last night at one point. So you have to make a difference in your special teams, whether you're winning field goal, block punts, getting turnovers on the special teams, all that. Your special team field position, your special teams on your team. Because remember, we always forget that always gets overlooked. And you're talking about how good a team is. Your special teams, the offense and defense are the 3 elements of winning games on Sundays. That's how you win games on Sundays. So your special teams has to win you 3 games. Has to win you 3 games. And look back at Cincinnati Bengals yesterday. Just think of the missed field goal they had. That was a third quarter, Justin, when they could. The score was 26, and they settled for a field goal, and it would have been 20-9. And late in the third quarter, the Bengals kicker missed. If he makes, they win that game in regulation. They win that game in regulation. He gets overlooked in all the other stuff, but that kick, he makes it. They win in regulation.
Yeah, I was this better than anybody. It's a 4-quarter game, or 4 quarters and additional time in overtime. The narrative is Zach Taylor lost the game for the Bengals in overtime, but I'm like, the game was lost in quarters 1 through 3.
Right.
It's a 4-quarter game. I know everything's magnified in the closing moments of a game because that's crunch time, right? But almost every game, half the time is lost in quarters 1 through 3.
What was crunch time in that Raiders Kansas City game?
Yeah,
4-quarter game was over because they did nothing in the first 3.
They lost it in the first quarter,
right?
Everyone acts like games are only lost in the fourth quarter. Games are won in the fourth quarter, but games are lost in quarters 1 through 3 because you can always look back and say, if we could have made that field goal, there is no overtime. That last touchdown the Bengals score, they win. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, so many, it's easy to focus on the overtime happenings, but no, the mistakes that were made in quarters 1 through 3 led to that loss, including that crucial field goal that was missed. We just think, it's a missed field goal. It's okay. We'll get it back. But
we got plenty of time to make it up.
Look what happened. You lost by 3.
Lost by 3. It happens. So your special teams got to give you 3 games out of 17. There was a difference in that game. So now we're up to 6 wins. You got enough talent on both sides of the ball to win 3. Your special teams has to win you 3. And then where's the other 4 to 5 games coming from, Keith? Hey, what about that guy on the sideline that walks up and down the sidelines making the decisions? Why do you have him there? And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the head football coach. Your head football coach has to win you 3 to 4 games. He has to win you 3 to 4 games a season. Well, what do you mean? Well, I mean on a whole lot of different things. His play calling, his having a team ready to play, and overall leadership that would just ooze out. And you could just see, hey, that's a well-coached team. They don't make that many mistakes. They don't have that many penalties. They don't do this and they don't do that. And that goes back to the coach. And then over the course of a 17-game season, you would have to put that, I'm talking about the good coaches and the great coaches. They stand out and above. You're like, man, look at that game plan. Look at that play calling. Oh, that's coaching there. And not just the head coach. Remember, I always say the head coach gets too much credit when teams win, too much blame when they lose. But he's the head coach. That comes with the job. So that's part of being the head coach, putting your coaches in a position so that they feel that they can concede and they come out with successful and a winning game plan. Your game plan has to schematically win you another 3 to 4 games every season, because why do we have you here? Case in point, look at the New England Patriots on Thursday night. 3 passes, 3 passes, and that was, you went out there, that wasn't their game plan to throw the ball 3 times when they was preparing to play the Buffalo Bills. But then the weather factored in. Oh, we got to factor in weather. Anytime you play Buffalo, especially late in the season, you got to be thinking ahead of which weather we're going to be like. I played in Buffalo when it was 80 degrees. I played in Buffalo when it was -8 degrees. So you're going to have those days. And coaches are always prepared with a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever. They always have a different game plan. And Belichick had his coaches prepared, and the coaches had the players prepared to expect anything when you go to Buffalo. I mean, y'all saw how that wind was blowing. And the team who adjusts as quickly is going to be the most successful. And guess who did that? The New England Patriots. So there's your other 3 to 4 games. So that's 10 games alone. That's how you make the playoffs. Now, it was a stat that was read about the Cincinnati Bengals during the game. Zach Taylor's record, when he is entering the 4th quarter since he's been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, after 3 quarters, what is his record, Justin? Did you hear that? It was 0-31? 0-31 games since he's been the coach of the Bengals. They have never won from behind. And that is coaching. They're 0-31 since Zach Taylor's been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. Entering the 4th quarter, they've never come back and won a game. Unless they had, they've never entered the 4th quarter under Zach Taylor and won a game. And if they didn't have the lead, if they're trailing, not tied, if they're trailing going into the 4th quarter, they've never won. That is directly coaching. That's, not just Zach, but him and his coaching staff. I mean, I don't make the hits. I don't make the list, just the hits. That's a glaring report on your head football coach, because he has to put you in position to be successful. I've had I played for really good coaches in my professional football days, but I had a couple other coaches that didn't have us ready. Could not, match wits with the other head coach, with the other defense coordinator, offensive coordinator, and you hate to get out coached as a player. The game is hard enough between the matchups, individual matchups on the field, and that's where when you win as a team, you lose as a team, and you need your coaches to work with you. And you work with your coaches so that we can be successful. Put me in position to succeed, and that's where the play calling comes up on both sides of the ball. I remember the year I went, 1991, we went 10-6 with the Philadelphia Eagles, and we lost. And we didn't make the playoffs because we lost on a tiebreaker. One of those games against your team, Dallas, Justin, the Dallas Cowboys. That year, Randall Cunningham got hurt. We started 5 quarterbacks over the 16-game season. We had 5 different starting quarterbacks. And our last quarterback he was in there starting with, a guy named Jeff Kemp. Jeff had only been the Eagles a short amount of time. He couldn't audible, not because he didn't have the ability to audible. He's still learning the offense. And we're using hand signals to get the play in. And Jeff is over there trying to, read the hand signals. I'm sitting next to Jeff in the huddle, reading the hand signal, getting the play called. So I'm almost really calling the play, because Jeff, I'm like, like, what does that mean? The hand signal. What formation is that? So I'm calling the formation and the play, along with Jeff. And then the only thing I'm not saying is what's the snap count? Is it on 1? Is it on 2? Is it on 3? Whatever. And then, so Jeff is walking to the line of scrimmage, still thinking about the play that we called in a huddle. Meanwhile, what about we need an adjustment? What if we got an audible? Well, that's asking too much right now. He's only been here a week or 2. He doesn't even know the audible system. So we're playing the Cowboys. They have a cornerback by the name of Isaac Holt. Isaac is playing 10 yards off of our fastest receiver. Big old cushion. And we're calling a deep route. And Isaac is already deep at the snap. He's bailing, and we're like, wait a minute. If he's going to play off, let's just throw a hitch. And Jeff couldn't, he was like, that's asking too much out of him, because he's got other things to worry about. And we're still calling deep routes when the short route is wide open. And that sounds like a simple thing, but I'm like, Isaac Hope would come up there at the snap, as soon as we break the huddle, and then you get information, he's bailing. He's just backpedaling. Right now, we're throwing the ball deep. So little adjustments like that, that's when coaching has to come in and work together with the players. I'm like, yeah, coach, just call a freaking hitch. I don't care if it's 3rd and 10. Call a hitch because he's bailing on a deep route. But you got coaches who don't work with you. It gets to be more and more difficult. So that's why the player and the coach relationship has to be on the same page. And I know what good coaching looks like. I know what bad coaching looks like. And I'm not saying Zach Taylor's a terrible coach, but I'm saying he needs to improve. Those are glaring statistics. Like you have a good game plan, but what happens when your game plan isn't working right? You got to make adjustments, and you got to make them quicker, sooner rather than later. Even announcers that was watching the game, when in cover 2, every player knows where the soft spot is in cover 2. Yet the Bengals weren't taking advantage of it until later. Like, take the shots down the field. These guys they're beat up out wide. And then when they finally started taking shots late in the fourth quarter, you started to see T. Higgins, you started to see Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd take advantage of it. Those guys been screaming for 3 quarters. I got him. The coaches finally listened. But like Justin Kenner just said, quarters 1 through 3 is just as important as the fourth quarter. It's a 4-quarter ball game. Just like that, I got to get a commercial in because I'm in and blow through all these commercials. We got to pay some bills around here. We will talk more after the break. This is the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
This is CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Do you want to be a hero for the holidays? How about getting your loved one a new iPhone? That's right. Pure Talk has iPhone 12 starting at just $479 through the end of the year. And sure, they have 13s too. Switch to Pure Talk. Great nationwide 5G coverage. Yes, the same coverage as the big guys, but the average family saves over $800 a year. Now that's just smart. There's no need to overpay for Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile. Plus, with Pure Talk's 30-day risk-free guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. And like I said, the iPhone 12, just $479. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill50, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Plus, save on a new phone. That's pound 250, say Jill50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. Some restrictions apply. See site for details.
It's Dell Technologies' biggest business sale of the year with Black Friday deals on Windows 11 PCs. Call 877-ASK-DELL. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business.
If coming up with a perfect gift idea is making you feel a little like the Grinch, Roosters can put you in the giving spirit. For every $50 of gift cards purchased, you'll receive a $10 Roosters Holiday Buck to enjoy Roosters award-winning wings and so much more. Don't be a Grinch.
How dare you!
We all know it's better to give than receive, right? What could be better than giving and receiving? Go to roosterswings.com for more info or drop by any of our locations and purchase your gift cards today. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
This is Keith Byars, and I played in the National Football League for 13 years. As a proud Daytonian, I've got an important message for you guys out there, especially you gentlemen over 40 years old. Know your stats. As a professional athlete, I focused on my numbers every day. Now I focus on my most important stats: blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, and PSA levels. In the end, those are the numbers that really count. So if you don't know your numbers, now is the time to find out. See your doctor regularly to stay on top of your game, because no matter your age, every day and every number counts.
This message is brought to you by Molina Healthcare and Community Health Centers of Greater Dayton. If you do not have a primary health provider, call Community Health Centers of Greater Dayton at 937-461-6869 or visit communityhealthdayton.org.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now. Cancerscreenquiz.com.
For the ones who get going when the going gets tough, and the ones who know we're tougher together. For the Pathfinders breaking new ground, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as fast access to experts and 24/7 customer support. Because we know you have people depending on you, so you can always depend on us. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Bob Minetti. In 2016, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Bob participated in a clinical trial that included cutting-edge radiation therapy and surgery. He's been in remission since completion. I'm Keisha Sharp. Since losing my mother to pancreatic cancer, I've been working to share the kind of state-of-the-art work being done by Stand Up to Cancer and Lustgarten Foundation. To learn more about the latest research, including clinical trials, visit pancreaticcancercollective.org.
You know when you order a new video game, or a golf club, or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at Home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at Home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
Fill up your tool cabinet and save on Masterforce power tool accessories at Menards. Masterforce has a large selection of power tool accessories with over 400 in stock, from drill bits and hole saws to blades and sandpaper. Masterforce has everything you need to spend less time shopping and more time doing. Save big on Masterforce power tool accessories. Plus, give the perfect gift with a Menards gift card.
More seasons greetings to you all from Menards.
Audible is best-selling audiobooks, exclusive originals, and podcasts all in one app. This holiday season, treat yourself with 60% off your first 3 months. Just visit audible.com for more details.
If you're looking to satisfy those comfort food cravings, we've got just what you're looking for. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, homestyle happens here with our 12-piece strips meal for only $32.99. Warm up with a big helping of homestyle. Enjoy 12 all-white meat golden brown breast strips, 3 large freshly prepared sides, and 6 fluffy biscuits. It's the family meal everyone will love. Get a homestyle meal made easy with our 12-piece strips meal for only $32.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Santa here. I used to shop online, but they don't have anything in stock. Now I go to the Hobby Shop, where I save money by getting fun and exciting gifts in stock from a locally owned small business that beats Amazon. The Hobby Shop near the Dayton Mall has the latest RC planes by Hobby Zone and the toughest radio control trucks from Arma. Want to go fast? The Hobby Shop has no prep drag cars in stock from Low C. Keep your money local. Their shelves are stocked at the Hobby Shop, just north of the Dayton Mall, across the street from Lowe's. Call 436-6161.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
Some people think fall is the best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number to call, 937. Oh, I hit the wrong button on my computer. They were like, Keith, you don't know your own phone number? I know I should. But who remembers phone numbers? But I'm going to give it to you again, 937-518-1410, 937-518-1410. And you get me on Twitter at KAB41 is my Twitter handle, so I can answer any questions you may have there as well. But before the break, I was talking about winning and how hard it is to win in this league and what are the little things you have to take. I got to make an adjustment on one of the stats I read. I said Zach Taylor was 0-31 since being the head football coach of his teams winning in the fourth quarter. When Cincinnati Bengals teams enter in the fourth quarter trailing, they are 0-31. That is wrong. What is it, Justin? 0-23?
0-24 now.
0-24 now.
24. So
the Cincinnati Bengals, since Zach Taylor's been the head football coach, entering the fourth quarter, they're 0-24. So Bengals don't be losing going into the fourth quarter unless you're going to change that and finally put a 1 in that left column instead of a 0. But the game is won over all 4 quarters, not just the fourth quarter. So the games that they won under Zach Taylor, they've had a lead or tied entering the fourth quarter. So it comes back to coaching. You can't, get away from that, especially on this level. College level, you get a whole lot of bad coaches can get away if you got enough talent out there. It's just what it is, but it's hard to win the bigger games in college with bad coaching. Even though that happens too sometimes. We're spoiled at Ohio State. You go back to Woody Hayes until Ryan Day. We're not including Ryan Day. All of our coaches since Woody Hayes has ended up in a college football Hall of Fame. Urban Meyer hasn't been inducted yet, but it's only a matter of time. So that goes back to Woody Hayes, Earl Bruce, Cooper, Tressel. Are in the College Football Hall of Fame. So we are spoiled with good coaching at The Ohio State University. But in the professional level, that's a whole nother animal. I'm in the midst of, I'm trying to wait until the season is complete, to rate certain coaches. And I think that would be the most fair. Everybody likes lists. Where do you have this? Who's the top quarterback? And who's the top quarterback all the time? Who you have quarterbacks entering the 2021 season? All that stuff. And I don't mind lists. It makes for worthy debate and gives people something to shoot for. And what do you think? But so once the regular season is over with, I'm gonna go back and evaluate how the NFL coaches did over 16 games and give them a grade. And then I'll have 4 levels. It's going to be who's the top level coach, who's the second level, who's the third level, and who's at the bottom level. And you just want your team and your coach to be at one of those 4 levels. Well, you really prefer to be on one of the 2, top level, but we'll see. I'm just gonna put you on the spot real quick, Justin. I know you don't. We haven't talked about this at all, but I'm at top level, second level, third level, bottom level. What do you have the 2 Ohio coaches at right now at this point in the season after 12 games? What do you have Zach Taylor and Kevin Stefanski?
You said one more time. The top
level, the second level, the third level, and the bottom level. Just 32 coaches, which level, which pod would you put them in the coaching job they've done thus far through 13 games of 2021?
I'll put Zach Taylor at the bottom, but that's consistent with where I've had him from the beginning. I know I'm viewed as a Bengals hater. I'm not a Bengals hater. I'm not a Zach Taylor hater. I think that the Bengals...
His coaching job this year through 13 games.
It's strange because he started out 5-2. They were 5-2. They were taking the AFC by storm, the league by storm, and they were that feel good, like, oh man, they have Joe Burrow, that offense. But since then, they're 2-4. And they've, lost a lot of close games. They losing at Green Bay. You lost to the Jets with still a chance to win. The Chargers had a chance to come back. He should have won yesterday. The reason I have to put him at the bottom is because, yes, they've done a good job of taking that next step. But you even said it. Talent's going to win you a lot of games. Coaching's going to lose you a lot of games.
Right.
And I think that this has been a situation where talent has won them the games that they have, and coaching has lost them a lot of these games. When you're losing this many one-possession games, that, yes, players need to make plays. I get that. But at the same time, that does fall on coaching, just different decisions.
Put me in position to make some of these plays.
So I'm putting Zach Taylor at the bottom. And you said there's 3 tiers, correct?
4.
Oh, so at the bottom. And I want to put Kevin Stefanski this year in not the first, second, but probably in that 3rd tier. I think
just one ring above.
One ring above, because I'm not a big fan of his coaching decisions, but the fact that they are 7, like the Bengals have been healthy, and they have Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, an improved offensive line, a $200 million defense. They're 7-6. The Browns have been absolutely decimated with injuries all year. That's not an excuse. That's an explanation. So the fact that with their quarterback banged up, the fact that with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt missing so many games, and the defense, their secondary being banged up, and the offensive line that is the best in football, or one of the best, that has offensive line.
It's been a replacement. Together. One offensive lineman goes down, another one comes in.
So the fact that they are a game above 500 as we sit here in mid-December, the fact that they are within a game of the division, I think that shows that Stefanski's done, although I don't think it's perfect coaching-wise in the decisions he makes in games, the fact that he has this team a game above 500, a game within the division, and still in the playoff hunt with everything that's going on. And let's be honest, with the quarterback, that the jury's still out. Some believe the jury's not out. He's just bad. I think it's actually pretty dang impressive. I feel the Bengals are better. I think they're more, I don't want to say they're more talented, but I think offensively they have better skill players, and I feel like they should be way better than the Browns, and I'm not convinced that they are. So I just think that Stefanski keeping this team above water, considering how good they were last year, I can't put him in the top tier, but I can't put him at the bottom either. I think that tier 3 that you talked about is fitting.
So 7 and 5s are not created equal.
7 and 6.
7 and 6 are not created equal. And I would agree with that. I'm still, right now, I'm teeter-tottering. Like I said, the list is incomplete, and the coaches, they're going to determine where they fit at on my list at the end of the day, how well they coach. And, unless some things change drastically over the next month, the coach I have on the top level is Bill Belichick, and he's sat alone for a long time during his tenure in the National Football League, and that's not me. Oh, you just saying that because you're a Belichick guy. No, I'm saying it because it's the facts. I'm just coaching strictly on 2021 season, and I was thinking about this morning. Back in April, when the New England Patriots selected Mac Jones, with that pick, he just don't know how great a pick that was. And a part of me wanted Justin Fields to slide back in the draft to get drafted there, or the Patriots to move up to draft Justin Fields. And I can only imagine how much I like Justin's development thus far, but I can only imagine how much more developed would he have been if he had went to the New England Patriots.
Especially heading into week 14. I mean, Fields has a lot working against him. Bad O-line, coaching dysfunction in that locker room, and with everything going on, to see him get better and better each week despite everything working against him. He's running uphill, and Mac Jones is walking on a nice plain field right now.
He's coming from Nick Saban to Bill Belichick, proven winners. It was like, dude, all you got to do is be quiet and listen. And learn, you will be very successful there. So Belichick is doing that. I mean, and he's bringing in the right guys, and he's got those guys believing. Who had the Patriots at 9-4 at this point in the season?
Not 9-4. I think people thought they would be improved. They spent a lot of money in the offseason, but not. This is reminiscent of what we saw in Tom Brady's early years with the Patriots, where he was, especially as a rookie quarterback, get out of the way, do what's asked of you, make plays when necessary, but just run the offense. Don't be try to be the reason you're winning, but just make sure you're not the reason your team's losing. And that's what he has done. And he was able to handle coaching by one of the best in Nick Saban.
And he's going to coach you hard.
Same thing here. Yeah.
I mean, they're the number 1 seed right now, but if the playoffs ended today, they'd be number 1 seed. If the playoffs ended, they're the number 1 seed. The Titans are number 2. Kansas City's number 3. But of course the playoffs are not ending today. But I have Belichick on that same level, all by himself. And the next level behind him, I said my list is incomplete, but that would be Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, Bruce Arians, and Mike Vrabel. And even to a extent, Sean Payton is on the second level. Well, you're still incomplete. I don't know if all those guys will stay there or some would drop in hoop. Someone would maybe, go up to the top level along with Belichick. That's to be determined. But I was having a conversation with some of the guys at the Hall of Fame, and I was talking about coaching in the NFL as compared to where it is today from the top to the bottom. And when I was last in the league, it was 32 teams in the league. When I left the NFL, it was 28 when I came in before expansion. But of those 32 teams when I left the NFL, it was probably 10 coaches, 12 coaches I didn't want to put. I couldn't, I was like, it's just not a fair fight. It's, that just really didn't deserve, I thought, to be in the league. And so that meant it was like 20-some coaches really good to be in the league with. And of that 22, it's probably about 10 that it was an equal fight amongst the dominant coaches. But now that numbers just seem to be changing, and I want to see high-level coaches in the NFL return, and that would help high-level play. But that's the conversation for the future. But hopefully, whoever your favorite team is, they continue to coach and coach well and are improved. But we'll see. This last month of the NFL season going to be real, real exciting. Bengals, Browns, you still got a shot. And before you know it, the Buckeyes will be playing the Rose Bowl. I can almost smell the roses right now. You've been listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Hey, get out and do random act of kindness for your fellow man, especially during this Christmas season. See you next time.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio. WING, 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Just say we're trash right now. We got to do better. He keeps coming up with all these stupid philosophies that doesn't even make sense. But you want to give him the power of the GM? He can't even choose when